Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Money Pillow, and today I am super excited. I'm sitting next to a good friend of mine, Micah Lamar, who is the president, founder, and owner of a great company called AAPLTrader. Actually, he probably has a funny corporate name, but his business website, everything is called AAPLTrader. Micah, it's kind of a long story. We go back quite a bit since I met Micah right when I moved to Santa Barbara, but he really epitomizes kind of the Money Pillow lifestyle, and I think he does it in a way that a lot of you will be able to relate to in a lot of different ways. So I'm really excited to have Micah on. It occurred to me today when we met for
the first time.
No, not for the first time. When we met to go surfing is what I meant. We met at about 7:30 this morning. Yeah, we should have met at 5:30. But anyway, we met early. Went surfing. We were done. Hey, you want to get some burritos? Yeah, let's do it. And then we made it into the office probably around like 11:30ish, noonish. I'm not even sure. But in that moment, I was like, geez, this is so silly. Micah has one of the greatest lifestyles anybody I know. And he should definitely be on the Money Pillow. So
thanks.
Here we are, dude.
What's up, Sean?
How was that? Was that a good intro?
That was awesome, yeah.
I didn't even say much about you.
How did you know I had some random name as like my corporate...
You do, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
What is it?
AM Global.
AM Global.
Completely
that sounds like a multi-level marketing thing. So anyway, so Micah, from what I understand of it, Micah has a social network website that he's built called AAPLTrader, and I believe it's AAPLTrader.com, and that AAPL instead of the word Apple is the stock symbol, and the website is a social network that's built all around the buying and selling essentially of Apple stock. And so he's found his niche, and that is in the Apple stock space, if you will, and has created a whole community of people who trade that stock and then pay Micah for his services. And his services, this is all that you explain here, man, but I'll just give it kind of 30,000 foot overview. His services basically are to give people information that helps them make a better decision on their trading. And he has trainings that he sells, and he also has a subscription service that includes alerts and updates and Micah's opinions on the stock and when to buy and when to sell. And again, it's AAPLTrader. Is that all? Is it a fair?
That's pretty close to what we do.
Okay, tell me what you really do.
So what I really do, I write a report every morning. I talk about Apple, its cycles that it does. And I'm pretty good at trading, and that's kind of how the whole thing got started. I was trading Apple, and also started studying internet marketing, decided to merge the two together and kind of spread the awareness of how I was trading the stock. And
because you did pretty well, right?
Yeah, I was doing really well, and I was using a specific set of indicators that I still use, that I still teach, that are still working. So,
and when you say that it's a specific set of indicators, these are basically events or triggers that happen with charts and just different things within the trading of Apple stock that says, okay, based on history and the combination of these factors, right now would be a good time to buy, or right now would be a good time to sell. Is that
pretty much? Yeah, I mean, we talk about probability a lot. So, you know, when you have one indicator that says buy, this is a good time to buy, but then you have four that are saying it's not a good time, then you use the probability to basically say it's probably not a good time to buy. But every once in a while, probably once a month or twice a month, you have all five of those signals that are all saying now's a good time to do it, get your trade on. And we find that's about a 75% accuracy when all five trigger. So,
and how often does that happen?
Just once or twice a month.
So
yeah,
10, 12 to 24 times a year.
Exactly.
And you have a 75% success rate with your advice. Wow. So that's why people pay Micah, and that's why Micah is a baller.
Oh, yeah.
So let's take it back, Micah.
Bring it back.
Let's take it back to 7:30 this morning when we met. No, I'm just kidding. How long ago did you start AAPLTrader?
About 2 years, maybe 2 years and a couple months.
2 years and a couple months. So, and we actually met before that, like 3 years ago at a conference, right?
Yeah, I think it was. I had just started the idea basically.
Around the time we first met.
Yeah,
okay.
when we first met.
When was that?
Gosh, that was probably about 3 years ago, 2.5, 3 years ago in San
Diego. So this is
what
are we in May 2014. This would have been when
was that really 2011?
Was it?
Seems like so long ago when you
What'd
say
you
it
do
like
before
that.
that?
Before AAPLTrader?
Yeah.
I was a glassblower.
So yeah, Micah used to make these really cool artistic pieces and sell them for thousands of dollars, but
Right.
that's kind of a hit and miss business. You have some ups and downs, and
Yeah, it's not as consistent, not as leveraged. But,
so and you were trading stock and doing well with that, and then
right.
okay, so 2011, you get the idea. How long did it marinate in your brain before it actually became a reality?
Let's see, probably a few months, just kind of understanding a little bit about how we were going to structure the business, what kind of advice we were going to give. And the whole thing was really an experiment to see if I could take my advice, structure as a subscription, and actually make money doing that.
Crazy?
So
Is it?
was
I mean,
really just it was an experiment, really.
Do you ever stop and think like, this is really nuts? Like, I make a living by people who pay me for my advice. I mean, that sound like that doesn't even sound that crazy to me. But like, literally think about it. Like, you make a living by people paying you for your thoughts.
Yeah, it's awesome. It is awesome, and I write every day. You know, I write a report every day, and you know, people love it, and they still reply to a lot of my.
I mean, it's
And
nuts. It's not like you make iPhone cases or build homes or what. You literally just sell your thoughts, and that along with that, I mean, obviously that's why you're paid well, is because there's a lot of expertise and a lot of smarts that went into that. But that's just a cool thing. So anyway, all right. So a couple months, and then you just built a website and launched it, or how was that process?
It was really ghetto to begin with. You know, I didn't really know anything about websites, and I still really don't. But I basically just put up a blog, wrote down a few blog posts with some ideas around trader psychology, around what I do, and I basically filmed a quick video, Camtasia, and I said, hey, I'm Micah. I'm really good at trading Apple, and every weekend I film a video about my ideas around Apple, and I send it out for free to my friends, and it's really easy for me to send it to you as well. Just put your name and email in this form on the right, and I literally, like in the video, pointed to the right, and it was that ghetto. And you know, in just a couple months, I did a little bit of marketing, built up the list, you know, to 150, 160 people that were specific to wanting to know more,
that Saturday email or video.
Yeah, exactly. Wanted to know more information about how I was trading Apple. And that was still free at that time. I was just focusing on building my list and
seeing. So you got 150, 160 people
opting in. Yeah.
Okay. Keep going.
And
actually, how long did that take? 1 month, 2 months, 3 months?
About a month and a half, 2 months.
Okay.
And then
were you paying, running ads, driving people to the site, or just doing some?
I was just going on to other blogs, other forums. There's quite a few stock forums out there, kind of like Twitter, but specific for stocks. Basically just,
going on there, being active. And
being active, developing myself, putting myself out there, putting my ideas out there throughout the week. And then, every once in a while I'd link back to my website and say, the video's coming up this weekend, make sure you get on the list so you get it.
And people would sign up and boom. Okay.
Yeah.
So 150, 160 people took
on
them,
the list,
you said a month and a half?
Yep.
And where are we? Are we still 2011 at this point?
Yeah, I guess that would probably be right at the end of 2011, or was it 2000? Yeah, I guess it was 2011.
Yeah, and actually, so we'll say close to the end of 2011, maybe beginning of 2012. Let me just rewind for 1 second to give some context here. You said you were a glass blower prior to this.
Right.
How long did you do that for?
10 years.
10 years, so you had a good run at it. Did you have employees, a studio? Like, what was it?
I had a couple of people who helped me out, and it was a lot of fun, don't get me wrong. I was 22, 23. I had a big glass factory in Santa Barbara on State Street. I was making huge sculptures, and my work was next to Picasso's and Moreau's and galleries all over the country. But it just wasn't leveraged. Everything that kind of came through the company, I had to personally get my hands on. And
so you had a studio you were in.
Yep.
Yeah, and had overhead and.
Yeah, huge overhead.
Yeah.
Ridiculous overhead.
Yeah, I remember. So, and how long did you do that for? That particular part?
That studio I had for 2.5 years.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. And was that stressful? Were you working a lot?
I was working a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe not.
I mean, I was working a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
It'd go in waves.
Okay. All right. And so anyway, so then you got out of that. And when you started your site AAPLTrader, did you literally abandon glassblowing altogether immediately, or kind of ease into it?
Yeah, it was a slow move from that, because I still had a lot of galleries requesting my work because they were still selling my work. And so it was kind of a sad move, because a lot of people were kind of sad that I stopped doing my art. But probably later on you'll talk a little bit more about what I'm doing now, but I'm building a new glass blowing studio that'll be finished in a few years. But
and then you can,
and then I'll be
all
able
the
to do
people
my
that are
art.
sad missing your art
Yeah.
can get a hold of it again.
Exactly. So
Oh gosh. Okay, so you did that for a long time, then got into AAPLTrader, and it was kind of a slow transition, you said.
right.
Okay, so we're at the end of 2011, beginning of 2012, somewhere in there. You get 150 people opting in, and you're like, man, I got 150 people. I'm gonna be rich. Let's do this. You turn what was that like? What happened from there?
Yeah, well, I knew that people were coming back every week to watch the video. So I knew, because I could see my stats every Sunday when I would put the video up, that the stats would go up and everyone was coming to watch it. So I knew there was value. And in fact, people were writing me emails, thanking me for my advice, that they had made all this money basically off of following my advice. So I knew that it was working. I knew my advice was helpful. And from there, because it was still free, I decided that I wanted to build more of a social network around it. And that kind of came from actually an Inc. magazine that I was reading. Lots of people, you guys probably know, like Inc. and Fast Company and stuff. And I saw this, one of the episodes or one of the magazines was 30 Under 30, 30 kids that were basically millionaires before they were 30. And I was looking through, and a lot of the similarities between them all were they made something online, it was community-based, and a lot of them were subscription-based, which meant you have a recurring revenue. And so I was like, okay, those three things I'm going to follow. I'm going to create something online, I'm going to create it to be community-based, and it has to be subscription.
And that you literally got that from noticing what the trends were with.
Exactly.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty bright of you.
Thanks.
To look at it from that level. So okay, so you launch it, and what happened? I mean,
so it was still for free. I knew people were coming back to watch it, and secretly started building the actual website, AAPLTrader, because at the time it was still just run through MicahLamar.com. And so I started building AAPLTrader on the side without anybody really knowing that I was doing that for the first month or so. And I built basically a community forum, social network aspect where people can go on and create a profile and upload charts and activity and kind of have a discussion about it. And in the middle of the week, I basically wrote an email out to my list, or my my contacts, and I said, hey, I had this idea. I want to create a social network for us. I want to create more engagement. I want to pump out more videos every week. And I know you guys are getting a lot of value out of these videos because you're basically telling me you are. And so if you want to continue to get them, it's going to be $20 a month. And if you want to get the next one, in fact, you're going to have to pay for it this time. And so right away we had like 20 or 25 people sign up, which created $400 or $500 a month.
20 and 25 people out of 150?
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's a good testimony to the value you gave. And I would think for anybody who's buying and selling a $500 stock,
yeah, $20
a month is nothing
yeah.
Especially, yeah. So was that an email you sent to the list saying you're going to have to do that?
Yep, an email I sent to the list, and then I sent them over to a page where they can put in their credit card information to get access to the next video. And like I said, 20 or 25 people did.
That's so crazy. And was that in 1 day, 2 days, 3 days?
It was all 1 day.
Did you freak out?
I did. I cracked a bottle of champagne.
You did?
I totally did, yeah. I was like,
great.
this is awesome, $500 a month. Obviously, if they stay on and, getting paid for my advice, and it was really cool. It was a good feeling.
Oh, that's amazing. So you're making $400 to $500 a month right out of the gate for something you were doing for free.
Right.
And okay. And that was what month was that? Help me think through this.
Yeah,
here.
that was, I guess, right at the winter, of 2011, right when we were turning in 2012.
So right around New Year's?
Yeah.
Did you collect any money in 2011? Do you remember from taxes?
Very little, probably.
Okay.
Probably maybe 1 month or something.
1 month.
Maybe
Okay,
even 2
so
months.
let's just say it was December-ish of 2011.
Right.
Okay, and then so tell me how you went from $400 to $500 a month. What was kind of the next 6 months like?
The next 6 months were just really understanding our platform.
Right.
And the limitations of our platform, doing a little bit of marketing, and really just testing. A lot of testing different ways of structuring the videos.
Okay, but like the numbers. So you had 20, 25 members to start in December of 2012.
Right.
11. January 2012, what happened? How many?
We're still right around the 30 members.
Around 30,
we
okay.
started pretty
February,
slow.
March?
February, March, still the same, 30, 35 members, growing, a few
Not
members a
doing
month.
any new promotions or?
Not really. I mean, even at the time, I was doing a little bit of marketing, but I really didn't even understand marketing, like online marketing. I was still just learning.
You know what I love? I think this is a really important takeaway. A lot of people, I think it's a personality trait that most entrepreneurs possess. They really want to know everything before they do something, and they get excited about an idea and they think, oh gosh, I gotta learn this, I gotta learn this, I gotta learn this. They start learning all these things, and then the idea actually never gets implemented. And I think what I want to point out here, and just stop for a second and point out, is that I think it's awesome. You just took action.
Massive action.
A massive action, albeit imperfect action. And I can only imagine, I'm just guessing in my head what the page looked like that you sent people to pay $20-25.
It's terrible.
Was there like a sales page, or was it just a checkout?
Yeah,
or?
it was pretty much just, gosh, if I could even remember, the whole thing was ghetto. It was so ghetto, I'm embarrassed that it was.
Yeah, well, and that thing was, even though it was a couple of years ago, that's probably was more the norm, or not too far from the norm.
Right.
Or only a few years from the norm, so nobody probably faulted you. And at the end of the day, people aren't paying for any of that. They're paying for the value they get, and they'd already gotten a lot of value, so they could see the future value. Okay, so first 3 months of the year of 2012, you're still at around 30 members. Did you have something that took you from $400 or $500 a month to another level?
Yeah,
or?
well, I guess it was the late spring of that year, 2012, I went to an Apple investor conference where a lot of big time Apple people were speaking for a couple days, and I brought my iPad. And I remember going up to one of the people, his name's Cody Willard, he writes for MarketWatch, which is an arm of the Wall Street Journal. And I remember walking up to him, and I basically shoved this iPad in his face and said, I've got a social network for people who trade Apple. And he's just like, let me see it. And he's looking through it. He's like, this is really great. And he's super busy guy, obviously, has his own business and everything. And I basically just annoyed the heck out of him for 3 months. You know, calling him, emailing him, calling him, let's work together. And finally, you know, he made a decision to do something with me, and he wrote an article called The Best Website for Apple Traders. And it went up, I guess, early summer of that year on MarketWatch, and we got about 10,000 hits on our website that weekend.
Wow.
Yeah, it was insane.
10,000 qualified hits, too.
Yeah, especially because they're coming from Cody Willard. I mean, he's a big-time dude. But I do have to say that I had really no idea what I was doing as far as like marketing, follow-up sequences. You know, when people registered for the website, at that point there was a free version they could get access to, and then we had raised the price at that point to $49, $49.99 I think. And we had, you know, when someone registered, they got one email from me that basically gave them a thumbs up for registering, and that was it. There's nothing we were doing as far as a follow-up for them to upsell.
Yeah.
And I mean, I even had people email me like, I want to join your premium. How do I do it? Like, how do I upgrade?
People in the chat are talking about it. Yeah.
And it was like, you know, I just had no idea what I was doing. So what could have been a $250,000 deal for me turned into a $10,000 promotion.
Okay.
And
so how many people did you get to start paying you $49 a month out of that 10,000? 20?
Yeah, no, it was probably about 40.
40, it's not bad.
Yeah, 40 people. So we went from, you know, $600-700 a month right away up to like $2,500 a month or something like that. And
okay, so you had probably some attrition from that first, or some drop off, I guess, from that first round.
It was a big burnout because we just really had no idea what we were doing.
Yeah, so
and we also had a really small server, and we just didn't know anything about servers, and so our site would crash all the time. And so that was terrible, you know.
Yeah, people want their money back and they want to cancel.
Yeah, or they just, you know, they don't want to come anymore because the website's slow or it's going to crash. And we had no idea what we were doing still.
So what month was this? You went, the Apple conference is always in March, isn't it? Or is it April?
This was a specific one for investors, so it was a little bit different than something Apple's putting on. So yeah, that was early summer of 2012.
Early summer, so we're in June now, 2012. You're balling at $2,500 a month?
Yeah, about $2,500 a month. And then over the next 3 months, there was a massive burnout because those members and coming to a website that was cool at once was no longer cool because it was slow, and we had no marketing follow-up. So we actually saw a massive decrease over the next 6 months in our membership. We went from like $2,500 to $3,000 a month, back down to about $1,500 to $1,800 a month.
Did that start to concern you? Did you ever get
I was
the
like,
negative?
I want to give up. This isn't working anymore. I don't really. Maybe.
I think this is about the time I met you.
I was like, maybe I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. So when we go surfing, I'm gonna take full credit for Micah's success.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah, no worries. When we go surfing, I would always be like, "Oh, dude, do this, do that," and then like the thing I love about Micah, and I'm being sarcastic about taking credit for his success, but we do have a lot of good conversations about it, and I'll give him some suggestions or ideas based on things that he's dealing with and things I've had experience with. And the thing I love about Micah is he'll take that advice and then like a day later call me back and be like, dude,
it worked.
It worked. I just made $4,000 from one email to 4 people, you know, or whatever. And I'm like, what? And then I'm like, I wish it was actually that easy. And
right.
But no, literally, like you've said, okay, so I remember when we first met, I think you were right around $2,500 a month, which I thought
we did have a big boost because in that process in the flux after the big promotion we got on the Wall Street or Market Watch, I had taken a lot of time and I developed a whole stock certificate program and an option certificate program, which took 4 months at least of filming content, editing it, building a whole curriculum so that I can then not only have a subscription product where I'm sending a daily report and I'm doing my videos. And at that time we actually switched from being videos to actual live webinars twice a week using live stream.
Got it.
And then I created a whole stocks and options certificate program that I sold asking basically $997, and I was like, this is it. I got my $1,000 product, $49 a month for my subscription. I'm gonna sell the heck out of these products. I know how great they are because people are telling me, and we did a big launch and we sold like 8 of them. And it was like great because
Wait, is that 8,000?
Yeah, it was about 8,000.
Okay, and what month was this?
That was that fall.
So the fall of 2012.
Right.
So right around the time I met you.
Right. Fall of 2012.
I don't remember that, but anyway, okay, so you did that. You sold 8 units, and this. I remember actually you sold 4. Did you do it like we're open for 4 or 5 days and shutting it down, or?
No, it was just that we're open now.
We're open now, and then you sent 3 or 4 emails about that, right?
Yep. And we actually put those programs on a different website called GoTrade.tv. I was like, oh, we're gonna have 2 websites now, which was a terrible idea, and it didn't work at all. And we ended up later on taking those stock and option programs and actually putting them back onto AAPLTrader so that they're all contained under one site.
Got it.
And there's a lot of repackaging and reorganizing that we did with those programs that really led to the ultimate success of the site.
Well, yeah, I want to talk about that. So fall 2012, you launch, you make $8,000 instead of $2,500. So you made over $10,000 in 1 month, probably.
It was awesome.
Yeah, that felt good.
Yeah, that was awesome. I mean, it was like, yes, this is working.
Yeah.
We just about made $10,000.
And then
the next month it was like, zoop.
Back down to $2,500. Yeah. And that was so. Did you round out the year just kind of after a couple hundred, $2,500?
Yeah, it was about that.
Okay.
And then
and then go ahead.
Oh, and then that next late winter, I guess January, February, we offered an annual membership for $499 or $497 or whatever, and we had a bunch of people take us up on that.
Oh, good idea. So you got a subscription service that's $47 a month at this point, or have you raised it?
No, it was $49.99. It was really bad. And I think you were the one who were like, $49.99 for an internet product? Like, what's that? Like, lower it to $47, and test it. And so we ended up testing it, and we got a lot more signups at $47 versus $49.99.
So that, I think what I told you was that traditionally on the web,
right,
2-digit numbers convert better than 4.
Right.
And what I mean by that is 49 versus $49.99, or the one with 2 digits instead of 4 should do better. And I think you tested it and it did work. The 47 was better, and for some reason 7s always work better on the internet over 9s. But it's not always. It's definitely case by case. It's one of the things you just have to test. So, okay, cool. So you offered an annual subscription. I think that was my idea, wasn't it?
I don't know.
I'm just kidding.
Sounds like
I'm
trying to
joking.
take credit for
Yeah, I'm
everything.
joking. I'm totally joking.
Yeah, it was great.
I'm being sarcastic.
We got an extra boost of revenue. But
when was that?
That was probably January.
Because we're starting the year off. Yeah. Buy a whole year right now, and you sold how many of those?
Yeah, we probably did another $5,000.
How many people did you have in the membership at that time?
Gosh, probably still 50 or 60 or something like that.
50 or 60. That's it. Yeah, I guess that's right. Yeah.
Because we had a big burnout. Like, everybody signed up and got excited, and then our site sucked because it was slow. And
okay, so you had 50 or 60, and how many people did you get to convert to an annual?
I think we made about $5,000, so I guess that's about
10.
Yeah, about 10 people.
12 people.
And it was great right away, but then the next month, all of a sudden, that $25 to $3,000 a month we were making went down considerably because they're no longer paying monthly now. And so we're like, okay, great. You know, what are we gonna do now? We're only making like $1,500 a month.
You keep saying we.
My brother was a partner in the beginning.
That's right, and you recently bought him out in the last.
I bought him out last fall. Yeah.
Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. So this is January 2013, and you start off the year with a bang. You net $7,000 roughly, probably.
Yeah, about
that month.
$7,000.
Yeah, I mean not.
It wasn't terrible. I mean, it was good. Yeah.
Baller money, not champagne money, but not a bad living at that. Okay, but this is my question for you, and I think at that time I told you, you should make that a part of your sales process. So when they go to sign up, they have an option to pay for annual.
Right.
And if they don't, then you put it in the autoresponder. They have the option. Have you done that?
No. No, we don't. And actually, I'll talk a little bit more about how we run our annual memberships now. That works a lot better.
That's where. Okay, cool. So, all right, carry on. So January, what's you're cruising along 40, 50 members. February, you got 40 or 50, but you're getting less because you got 20% of them to convert to an annual pay. So what's February, March, April look like? Anything substantial happen?
Nothing really substantial. In fact, I remember that spring, I actually still had a lot of inventory of glass sculptures. And that spring, for some reason, the glass sculptures started selling a lot. So income started coming in from selling these, multi-$1,000 sculptures. And I was like, oh, I'm actually making more money for a few months doing my glass still, and I'm not even making any glass. It's just my old inventory that started selling again. And so I kind of just went on, not necessarily cruise control for 3 or 4 months, but
we surfed a lot then.
Yeah, we were surfing a lot, and
I remember it was almost every day.
Yeah, we just kind of went on a cruise, and I kind of stayed at that $2,500 to $3,500 a month for, probably the first half of the year.
Okay, so 6 months in, June, July.
Yeah, June, July is when it really started to take off, and I started to kind of understand a little bit more about what we were doing. And at that point, I knew that there had to be a shift in what we were doing because I had this $1,000 product. I knew it was good. It just wasn't selling. Nobody was coming up to my website and dropping $1,000 on a program. So I had this crazy idea to take my subscriptions and my products and kind of roll them into this new structure. And so basically what I did is at that point it was $47 a month for my membership and $997 for the stock and option program. And so what I did was I raised my price from $47 to $97 and just the exact same service. And I created a new membership at $197. And for $197 you got the service plus the programs.
Right.
And
$197 a month.
Right. And so before I did that, I started a massive, I think 2 to 3 week campaign saying, hey, look, we're getting better. We're getting these great reviews. People who are following our advice are making a lot of money, and we're raising our prices. And everybody started to get excited about it. People who were kind of basically on our list, in the freemium, got excited. And they're like, oh, Mike is raising his prices. And all of a sudden, we had a ton of people sign up at the 47 because
you said we're raising the prices.
We're raising the prices. Anybody who gets in before the deadline
and
gets grandfathered in.
You're emailing these people on your email list, telling them that, right?
Yeah.
How many people at this point are on your list?
At least 3,500 people on my list.
Wow, so it grew, and I bet that hit.
Yeah, almost all of that was from that original promotion from Cody.
My God. Okay, so you're at 3,500 people. How many people jump in on the 47 before the price goes up?
We went from, I just think of revenue. We went from about $3,000, $3,500 a month to $6,000 or $7,000 a month.
Got it.
And then I was like, wow, this is really cool. This is not only a one-time deal that we're getting where we're just going to sell a product once or sell an annual subscription once. If we can do a really great job at fulfilling on our service, that'll be $6,000 to $7,000 a month every month.
It's crazy. Okay, so what month was this?
I think that was July.
July
of last year.
You raised the prices.
Right.
And what happened with conversions?
Conversions actually increased.
Did they really?
People for some reason want to pay $97 a month more than they want to pay $47. And I think that it's also the niche, you know. A lot
Now,
of our,
you know what? We talked about this. I don't know. You remember my thoughts on it?
what is it?
You don't?
That there's more perceived value on a higher priced thing, or
Yeah, I trust you more at 97 because at 47 it just sounds too good to be true.
yeah, that makes sense.
And
Especially for what we were doing. I mean, you know,
Okay.
a lot of our members have $250,000 to several $1 million that they're trading, and you know, when one of our trades
stakes
works out-
are high.
Yeah, I mean, they're, you know, I get emails like, oh, thanks for the advice. I just put $250,000 on it. And I'm like, oh my, you know, like, holy crap, you know,
a little nervous. Yeah,
a little nervous here, you know. And then I think about how, you know, holy cow, that was one person out of like 80 people who are emailing me telling me they put $250,000 on my idea. And I'm like, oh, goodness gracious, like, what if,
I put $250,000 on your last one.
what if, yeah, what if
kidding.
like, you know, 20, 30 people, like, there's $10 million out there sitting on my ideas. Like,
No, you've demonstrated and you've proven yourself,
Right,
and they
so,
know. And there's
yeah, of
also
course.
stops in place. They're not going to lose that.
no,
bad.
they're not,
Yeah.
of course not. But,
So it's not that they're going to risk a full $250,000. They're risking 10,
smaller
20, 30,000
yeah.
probably worst
But
case.
you know, we hit a really good streak last summer with Apple, and we were trading above our 75% normal, and we hit like 3 or 4 really big trades in a row, and that certainly helps.
Yeah. Okay. So when was the price increase? June,
I think it was June or July.
June, July. You jumped to 8,500 a month, 8,000 a month.
Yeah, about 7. I think it was 7 or
6?
7.5. Yeah.
Okay. 7.5, and now you're like, all right, this is good. This is starting to add up, and
Right.
now I'm not hustling like with events to get this up.
Right.
And talk to me a minute about attrition, because this is one thing in my business. I have a subscription-based business, which is totally different than yours, but I see 2 to 3 months at $100 a month, and then
Right.
people decided they're over it and they cancel, and you see like a lot longer than that, right?
Yeah, like 10 months or more.
Or more. Yeah, probably even more.
So
I
our
think you're more.
customer value at $100 a month is over $1,000 for each
Yeah.
customer.
So on your, oh my gosh, with that said, with your paid marketing, I want to know how much you're spending for leads now, but to acquire new customers. But we're not even there yet. Okay, so
Okay.
all right, so customer. Oh my God, that's a ridiculous customer value.
So
Okay,
one of the cool things that I just want to point out too is, you know, I did that price structure change knowing that ultimately I wanted to hit it at $97 a month because I knew that that number would keep people in longer than $197. So what I actually did was, and
How do you know that?
I just had a feeling.
Okay.
There's no
Okay.
data to back that up, and so I'm really hoping that all the AAPLTrader members are listening to this right now. But seriously, what I did was I knew that $97 was the money spot. So on the pricing tickets of my website, it was $97 and $197. For, you know, the more expensive one, you got the stock and option programs. And so what I did
And this
was,
is a month again, right? Yeah.
yeah, and so what I did was that was the first time I really started to do a lot of follow-ups, and I started to do a webinar once or twice a month. And at the webinar, if they signed up during the webinar, they got a free upgrade to the 197 if they signed up at 97. Knowing that I could hit them at 97 and deliver this amazing experience where not only they got my service and my alerts, access to the network, but they also got access to my stock and option program. And I knew that if they took the program, they'd not only become a better trader, it would also build my credibility, they'd stay longer, and it gave them a ton more content to get through, knowing that we'd most likely keep them at $97 longer. And so by raising my prices, created this new perceived value. I mean, there is value there, of course, because they're making a lot of money off the advice. But kind of doing that price fluctuation, giving them that great offer at the webinar, it was a no-brainer for people to sign up because they got the stock and option program basically for free.
Okay, so hold on. Let's rewind. Like, I think you're getting a little.
A little too far ahead.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I want to like the numbers. I think are what resonates with people to make
Okay.
sense. Your June, July, you increased to 97. That was your sweet spot.
Right.
You get up to $7,000 a month roughly in income.
Right.
What happens? What was next? Was it July, August, September? When did you roll out the 197 level?
It was all at the same time.
When?
It was.
Oh, that was
July.
that was the original.
when we raised our
When you
prices.
bumped it. Okay, you said I'm going to be going from 47 to either 97 or 1. Okay, all right, and then so you bumped that up, and then what? You got all those new members.
Yeah, we got all these new members. The website activity increased, of course, because there's a lot more people there being engaged.
Yeah.
The revenue was coming a lot higher. We were able to focus a little bit more on, you know, developing new features, improving the website. We later on ended up getting it on a much bigger server, which we had to do about 4 times now. And
Yeah.
at that point, we were just, in a really cool place. And I probably had a little bit of complacency, just thinking like, wow, this is really working. Through the end of the year, it was just steadily increasing. Basically, every time I ran a webinar, we'd get a ton of sales. And what surprised me most is the sales would, if I made 5 sales during the webinar, and then what I'd do on a Thursday, I'd host the webinar, and then Friday I'd send out the replay to the entire list, and then Sunday I'd send out the replay again saying, hey, this was the feedback we got. Is this really great meetup that we had? Here's the replay link, and by the way, it's coming down tonight at midnight, so you have to check it out now before the webinar comes down. And we'd get 70% of our sales that Sunday night or Monday morning.
That's
and it was
awesome.
like, holy cow!
So when was this? July? September?
This was all the way through the fall. We were doing it twice a month, basically July through November.
And you said you were getting roughly 5 people.
Yeah.
On
on a big one, we'd hit 20 people would sign up from the webinar and the replay.
Okay, and on average, 10?
Yeah, about 8 to 12. So yeah, 10.
Okay, so 10 people signing up twice a month at $97 a month.
Right.
Who picks the 197? Nobody, because the way you're promoting it, you say, I'll give you that for 97, which is very clever. How you could even create well, anyway. Okay, so you could even create a 597. Well, anyway, we can get into
which we
marketing.
We do have a $497 monthly product now.
Do you really?
Yeah. And that's a 1-hour coaching call with me every month.
Yeah.
Which we added
So
later.
I know people that do a 2-tiered pricing like that, like 97, 197. But they'll do 97 and they'll do 497, and then the 497 is nothing really substantially higher in value than the 97, but it gives the 97 really a higher perceived value,
Absolutely.
Which I think is an interesting strategy or technique. For me, that stuff, I don't know, man. I feel like you're just trying to mind fuck your customer. I'm sorry, I just said a bad word. You're trying to just mind your, you're trying to basically fool people into. You're
thinking that the 97 was
different.
More,
yeah, I don't like those techniques. So anyways, I'm glad. Or maybe I do. I don't know. I go back and forth. So anyway, so you do this. You start launching the weekly webinars, every 2-week webinars. And is this growing you, or is this keeping you at the same level? Growing.
It's growing, steadily growing every month.
So you started this when? August?
Yeah.
Let's say August.
Let's say August, and then.
And you did it every month.
Every month we.
So August, September, October, November, December. That's what, 5 months.
Right.
And you're adding 10 people on average a week, so that's 10 people every session, 20 a month, so that's 100 new members at 97. So that's 10 grand right there. Are you now making 17 grand a month?
No, because we had a lot of original members still at $20 a month. And we also had a lot of
I know, but before doing this, you were making 7 grand a month.
Right. So yeah, I think we bumped up to around 12. And also, you have to take in consideration that Apple stock took a major dump.
Yeah, right around the summer of last year.
And that really impacts us, which is a bummer because we have this great product, this great service, but there's this uncontrollable aspect
in the market,
of it when Apple sucks
So you went, here's the reality.
Yeah.
You start doing these weekly promotions, which is cool. It's just like another idea, another way to give value. I'm sure your webinars, you give a lot of value, and at the end you say, hey, if you've enjoyed this, you buy my stuff. And
right.
Buy my thoughts. Yeah, and my trainings. And so the reality was you went from 7 to 12, so that's a big increase.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That's like a 70%
and
increase.
Right before we raised the prices, I bought my brother out.
That's right. So, oh gosh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was.
So you go from 7 to 12, and the reality is you really brought on about $10,000 in new business. So had you not done that, you would have dropped from 7 to probably around 2.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been good.
Yeah.
So and we also, at that point, added a mentor program where I created like a whole series of questionnaires that we drip to the mentor students, and they basically get an hour of my time a month for an extra premium. Basically, I build myself out at $200.
You did that at that time?
Yeah, in that fall, I created a whole mentor program, basically building myself out at $200 an hour.
Okay, and how many people signed up for that?
We got 5 people signed up for that.
Every month or every week?
Every month.
Every month, so that's an extra grand.
Uh-huh.
So let's look at it like, so you start this in August, September, October, it starts to grow up, in December you have the recurring revenue up to around 12 grand a month.
Right.
Now is that 12 including that 1,000 from the people that are buying
Yeah,
it?
it was all kind of, I guess you
one-on-one.
can call it all mixed in. It was about 12.
Okay, I'm just making sure it wasn't
Yeah.
13 with that, so it was right around 12. Okay, so you create another subscription service, which was
The
I'll
Mentor.
talk to you. Yeah, the mentor stuff, which is
Right.
great. I know a lot of people. I mean, I pay for stuff like that for coaching for different
Yeah.
things in my business.
And we saw huge, like those 5 people, I'd say 3 out of those 5 people saw enormous results. Like, we just made 30 grand this month. Thank you so much. And I only charge them $200. You know, like,
Yeah,
it was
okay, so can I give you
insane
an
value.
idea?
Raise my prices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
And
you raise them?
we did. We raised it to $497 a month for that.
And how many people are on that now?
We have 3 people on that.
3.
And
So you're talking to 3 people for an hour a month and making
Right.
1,500.
and I
instead
really
of
don't have
5
time to take on
and making 1,000.
exactly.
So
yeah, so
you
I raised my prices and
you basically doubled.
yeah, and at this moment, you know, I actually tell people that level to get my mentoring is oversubscribed, and I'm not taking on any more people, which then just makes people want it even more, of course.
And why do you do that?
Well, also because, you know, I like my lifestyle. I want to surf.
That's what I was getting at. Yeah.
I want to, you know, I have things in my life that I'm up to, you know, and so I don't want to work 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
But
You don't have to.
Yeah, exactly. And
Okay.
so at this point, it's probably 2 hours of work a day to keep things exactly where they are.
You see what I'm talking about? This was the exact reason why it hit me today. I'm like, God, I'm so stupid. I don't know why I haven't asked Micah to be on this podcast. I mean, but it took me like you getting out of the water and saying, well, should we get burritos? And I'm like, ding, ding, ding,
Right.
light bulb. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, but you've done some really cool stuff also that we're not touching on.
Right.
That's increased your revenue. So you go and
We had a big month in December.
yeah, I know. Well, hold on. I'm thinking. So
Okay.
these webinars, like there was nothing other major happened up through November.
Right.
Right. December, and so up to November, December-ish, you're around 12 grand a month recurring revenue.
Right.
You've bought your brother out
Right.
at this point. So
So all that revenue then flows.
your brother was part owner and founder with you,
Right.
right? Okay. And what, just real quick, why'd you buy him out?
You know,
He's going to be listening to this, I'm
Yeah.
sure. So maybe you never told him your real motivation. But no, really, like
No.
what happened? Where were you?
my brother was the developer. He built the whole platform, and you know, he just kind of lost interest in the company, and wasn't able to continue to work at the same level I was. And so he was actually really great about the whole thing. He wrote me an email and basically.
Well, it wasn't to the point that like basically everything was done and just needed to get out and
yeah,
sell
but
it.
the thing is, I wanted to continue development.
Yeah.
You know, there's a
God.
lot of things that I wanted to continue to develop.
Yeah.
And my brother was really great about the whole thing. He actually initiated it. He wrote me an email saying, hey, you know, I'm not doing anything for months now, and I feel bad cashing your checks every month. Let's work something out.
Yeah.
And I
okay.
wrote him back like, that's really great of you to do that, because I was thinking the same thing.
Got it. Okay. All right. And that's cool. And then you're like, boom, this is cool because I want to scale the business up.
Yeah, I'm about
I want
ready
to keep
scale
developing.
it.
Yeah.
And he wasn't really involved for the last few months, so he didn't really see that we were up on this J curve and we were about ready to take off.
Yeah. That's
But-
why you got to stay involved
Yeah.
a little bit. So anyway,
Little
okay. So you guys still get along now?
Oh yeah, we're still best friends, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a rock star.
Okay, so you buy him out. You immediately ramp up. You do really well and start driving in revenue. And kudos to you and congrats on doing that because
Thank
it's
you,
not
sir.
an easy thing to do
Appreciate it.
coming from experience. And
Yeah, seriously.
I know that's personally, I have first-hand experience with that same exact process, and it's really a challenge. Micah was more successful at ramping things up than I was in my business. So anyway,
Well, you also got to note that I almost gave up like 8 times.
I know. In fact, there was a moment. This is actually really cool. I won't forget this. This was probably May, June, somewhere
When
of
things
that
were just flat
of
lining.
2013.
And I was probably surfing too much.
A year ago, we were on the way to go surfing one day, and you said, "Dude, I got a job offer." And I said, "Really? Tell me about it."
Right.
And it was for a local tech company. He wanted you. What did they want you to do? Marketing,
Course development stuff.
course development, marketing. And you were going to be earning, I can't remember, but let's just call it 75 grand a year or something like that.
Yeah, it was probably going to be somewhere between 6 to 8 grand a month.
Okay. So 70 to 90 grand, somewhere in there a year, and which isn't a bad living. And
this is before. This is when my company was only doing like 2,500 to $3,000 a month.
yeah. And you told me all about it, and I said when I think back on it, I think I told you that, like, well, that's cool and all. You're gonna now have a job. You're gonna have to go somewhere and be somewhere every day. We won't be able to do this kind of thing. And
I don't think you're that nice about it.
No? What did I say?
You said you were gonna hit me in the back of the head with a frying pan if I took the job.
I did? Did I really?
Something like that. You're like, come here, I'm gonna yeah. But it was good because I needed that wake up call. Like, holy cow, I got this product and the service that's.
Well, because I feel like you've had this great business for so long, and it's like, Micah, just get out there and freaking sell it. Figure out how to market it, and you'll make some money. And you were serious about thinking about that job. You were thinking about it long and hard.
Yeah, definitely.
Did you go through interviews? Or was it more of an informal, like, hey, we have this job, we can get your brother? Yeah,
exactly.
Okay. So anyway, that was really cool. So you ramp up 6 months later. I remember, you told me some successes and wins, and I'm like, dude, I'm so happy you didn't take that job because now look what you've done, look what you've created. And okay, so very cool. So tell me about December. So in December, you're earning 12 grand a month in recurring revenue from the work you put in. And you said, oh, it's the holidays, I'm going to run some promotions.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, okay, well, we have all these people at $97. I want to have a big December. We just started doing a little bit of affiliate marketing, basically marketing other people's products that are complementary to ours. And over the last year, we had 1 million requests for AAPLTrader mugs, which sounds really crazy, but people wanted a mug because they sit at their desk, they trade. They want a mug with our logo on it, and we just never.
Was that random? Did you have one made that they saw a picture of?
We never did. We never had one made.
Why would somebody just ask for that, and then not just one person, but multiple?
Yeah, like
people?
a lot of people were asking for these AAPLTrader mugs.
So random. Okay.
So, I ran a promotion in December where I had 10 AAPLTrader mugs made at like Cafe Press or whatever. And I ran a promotion to our premium member list and said, hey, I finally have AAPLTrader mugs, and I put a little picture of them in the email. And I said, I'm giving them away for free to the first 10 people who sign up for an annual membership.
For an annual membership, which was how much money?
20 mugs. $1,000.
$1,000, which saves
$9.97
them 2 months worth of payments. Okay, and you give away 10 for free.
Yeah. For
the first 10 people. And how many people signed up?
Well, I just know that revenues that month were around 28,000.
Come on, dude. was it 10, 12, 13, 14, 15?
So the breakdown
and I think you're saying this because you maybe said I'm going to cap it at 10. You ended up doing 13, 14.
Okay, so yeah, kind of like that. Yeah. But we had.
I know how it is. You get the number, and then the people are begging you like, please take my money. And you're like,
so
okay.
We had 3 people who were 3 out of the 5, I think, mentor students I had who were already paying a lot every month, signed up at an annual membership for $3,000. So 3 times 3,000 were 9,000.
Oh, because you offered your mentor.
I offered everybody who was paying me an opportunity to get 2 months for free, get a free mug.
Got it. Because how much were they paying a month?
At that time, they were paying $297 for the mentor.
So $300, and you said pay me $3,000. Okay, cool.
And you get an hour a month for the next year.
Yeah.
And so I had 3 people sign up for $3,000. That was $9,000 right there.
Oh, was that all 3 of the people you were mentoring?
3 out of 5.
3 out of 5 at that point. Okay.
Yeah, so there's like clear value there. These guys were killing it in their trades. And then I think probably 10 to 13 people signed up. No, maybe it wasn't that much. Maybe it was only 7 or 8 people. I can't actually remember the exact count, but there was, a good amount of people who signed up at $1,000.
And how much? You said $28,000.
Yeah, we did $28,000 that month.
How'd that feel?
I felt like I made it. That was like, I just made it. I've arrived. Like, we just did $28,000, and I'm starting to figure this out. I got my marketing.
Because how much did you do December the year before?
$3,000.
$2,800.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, 10 times. It's so incredible. Can you imagine doing 280 this December?
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Well, can you imagine?
Yeah. No,
there's no way you could have imagined doing 28 when you were at 2,800.
No, I mean, the whole idea of making $28,000 in a month off of my services.
Your thoughts.
It's just like that feeling. Like I can feel it now. Like that's awesome.
That's incredible. That's so cool. Okay, so $28,000 in December. I mean, let's look at annual. 2012, you probably did 50, 60 grand revenue somewhere in there.
Yeah, probably somewhere closer to 40.
40. You got a partner you're paying out some money on. Basically, McDonald's money, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was
After
I
you
wasn't
pay your
living
partner,
off of
yeah.
it, yeah.
But you're building something. It's
Right.
cool, and you actually have a pretty fortunate situation. Your wife has a great engineer. Is she an engineer?
She was. She got a degree in physics and nuclear engineering, and she was an engineer, and now she's a product manager. She's super smart, and
yeah. So you have a pretty cool relationship with her in the sense that you have the ability to build something without the stress of okay, I get that. That's awesome. Okay, so 40-50 grand the first year. Second year,
a lot more.
28. Probably an average. I'm just gonna do some math in my head real quick. Probably an average of about 6.
You remember the whole first half of the year, that was still only around that $3,000 a month.
Yeah, and then you
it
did
ramped. So it's probably like 70 or 80 or something like that.
70 or 80 plus the 28.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, so you're probably over 100 grand last year, and then so this year, how do you come back from a December where you have 28 grand in 1 month from the big promotions? What do you do to generate revenue, or is it more just continue building the monthly?
Yeah, continuing to build the subscription. And
so no major events so far this year. We're in May of
not really, no.
Okay.
I have to say, though, again, because my company is directly tied to Apple stock,
Yeah.
Apple had a really crappy January. Was it January or was it?
Because you see cancellations on your subscriptions when
directly after. Yeah, so Apple announced bad quarterly earnings. The stock gapped down like $40 or $50. Complete catastrophe, like the worst thing imaginable for my company. And we lost like 15 to 20% of our subscribers.
right out of the gate.
Yeah, right out of the gate, they're just like, boop, I lost
Happy
money.
New Year!
Yeah, I'm like, great. And so, that is just part of the company that we are directly, and we're starting to branch out, but we are directly tied to what the company does.
And so you lost a bunch. Have you recouped those through the promotions?
Yeah, I mean, right now, we're still doing somewhere between 12 and 15 grand a month.
Okay. That's still, that's incredible.
It's awesome, yeah. And again, I work, if I wanted to keep it right at 12 to 15 grand is still like 2 to 3 hours a day.
Because you have just an organic flow of traffic coming, signing up for the opt-in list, joining the webinar, the weekly webinar, every other weekly webinars.
And we made a shift in that after the whole Apple gapping down and people losing, obviously, people who are long-term investors losing a lot of money. We made a shift and said, okay, we can no longer be, we are still going to be AAPLTrader for now, but we're no longer just going to be tied to Apple. Let's branch out and start doing some analysis on some other stocks. So one of the members actually who'd been creating a lot of content for us, because we're a content generation machine, was a free member. I had given him an upgrade, basically.
And when you say you're a content generator, I just want to point this out, you're a content generation machine. It doesn't mean like you're like hustling and creating all this content.
No.
What you mean by that is you create a social network where people post status updates and almost blogs, if you will.
Exactly. So we have a huge...
You literally have a machine.
Yeah, we have a huge community of people who are constantly creating content for us.
Got it. So you have a member who's excellent at trading other stocks?
Right. So he's been trading for 30 years, has this really great mindset about, pay it forward. He makes a full-time living off of trading. And so we've kind of taken him and moved him up in our community and said, this guy's a thought leader. Everybody should listen up to this guy. And we created a new subgroup in AAPLTrader called the Synergy Trading Group now that he manages, and that people can get access to by upgrading to premium. And that he covers Google, Tesla, Facebook, all these other stocks.
Are you seeing a direct correlation with people upgrading just to be a part of that group?
Oh, yeah.
Are you really?
Yeah, definitely.
So that's a little valation in the idea.
Exactly. A validation
on a minor level.
That, obviously AAPLTrader is a very small niche, and branching out to some other stocks, bringing on another content person that people are actually paying to get access to. And so I kind of brought him on, and I pay him monthly now to generate that content. And now he's actually doing a live broadcast every Monday morning.
Oh, awesome.
And so now, instead of just me doing broadcasts twice a week, we have another member doing a broadcast.
Is it 3 broadcasts a week?
Now it's 3.
Do you ever find, so in my subscription business, we did weekly trainings, and when we asked people why they unsubscribed or canceled their memberships, they felt overwhelmed. That was the number one response. It was too much. So we scaled back to 2 trainings a month and actually have a better attrition now.
Interesting.
Yeah, they stay longer. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, that is funny, and I think that we have completely different markets because
We definitely do.
You know, in the stock world, people want they'd prefer us to do one every day.
2 a day, probably. Yeah,
They would prefer
opening
us
and
to do
closing
it
bells
all day,
yeah,
like an 8-hour session. You know,
Yeah.
because they want the interaction. And you know, just kind of stepping backwards for a second, you know, when I was trading and actively trading a lot before I had launched AAPLTrader, part of the building AAPLTrader in the community was like I wanted to create a community online for me to hang out with while I trade, because if you don't, you know, you're sitting there on your computer by yourself lonely, like, you know, so I wanted to create a community. So part of that was just fulfilling a natural need where people who are sitting at their computers trading all day want to be a part of a community, want to be involved in something bigger. And so that was really what filled a huge need out there.
That's awesome. That's very cool. Okay, so we're getting close to our time being over here. Let's I'm just thinking, I have so many ideas just from talking. We need to surf more because I have like all these ideas for your business. You said one thing that just blows my mind here. You have an average customer value of $1,000, right?
10 months, yeah.
And you're
growing every month because they continue to stay on.
Yeah, and you're really doing not much paid marketing right now.
0. I mean, we really do no marketing.
Yeah. Here's what I'm thinking, Micah. You ready?
Do some marketing?
Yeah. Here's what I'm thinking. Take $2,000.
Right.
Do some lead generation, and I'm guessing if you do an awful job, you can get $10 an opt-in. Right? Which that's gonna be 200 new leads for $2,000, and out of those 200 leads, I'm guessing you can convert 5% of them.
Yeah, I was thinking, 10 people.
Yeah, which is gonna be a 5x return on your money.
Right.
Yeah.
I know.
Here's the thing. How many people trade Apple stock? Do you have that number? Do you have that note?
It's a lot. Like
millions?
Maybe not millions, but there's a lot. Like at least a couple 100,000.
Couple 100,000, and you have how many in your group? 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing if you. I mean, how much does a freaking banner ad cost on any of those sites? You know, AAPLTrader, the world's #1 Apple trading community. What does that cost?
Oh, nothing. Yeah, we could be doing a lot more marketing.
Yeah, you and I are gonna have a talk after this. I'm gonna be your marketing manager. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm ready.
I'm just kidding.
No, but part of the thing was, and I do have to kind of do a little small justification, is that every time we'd grow, our site would crash, and the server. And again, I'm not techie at all, so I have no idea about any of this stuff. But every time we'd grow a little bit, and our activity,
your server just got slammed.
Yeah, our server would get slammed. Our website would slow down.
But you just fix that, right?
And so there's this, I had a fear. I had a fear about growing. I had a fear about spending a lot of money on advertising and bringing people into the community and having this website crash. Like it was an Apple earnings where we have obviously a lot of activity on our site, and our website crashed. And it wasn't available. It was like down for 2 days. And it was like, this sucks. So I spent the last 2.5 months, I got this whole team basically. They took my website, put it onto a stage.
You have a very complex,
super complex website.
So they just took everything, rebuilt it, fixed everything that was heavy in code and
recoded a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And they put it on a staging site so they can do that. And we're hopefully launching this weekend on a brand new server. Our chat room is, we basically now with the new setup have different segments of our website hosted on different servers. So our media and content and our videos are hosted on Amazon AWS. Our chat room is going to be hosted on a different server, and our website's going to be hosted on a third server. And we really had to kind of break it up like that.
You have it, but you have it dialed now, so you can bring on some good traffic.
So hopefully this weekend when we launch and things start, they won't crash when we start to get a lot more activity.
If they do, you'll figure it out and you get it fixed. You're close to there. So, but I'm dead serious,
and then I'll feel more comfortable
Micah.
ramping it up.
I think you could go from, and I'm not kidding when I say this, but 10, 12,000 a month to 100 to 120.
Yeah.
Within a year in a very automated system with paid marketing. I really think you could. You have such a high customer value that you can lose a lot of money to get that customer. You know what I'm saying? You're not losing anything. You're investing in it. You can invest a lot of money. It's the right way to look at it. But all right.
I get that same weird feeling like when you start talking numbers like, making $100,000 in a month. That still seems like, even though my business is scalable to there, like the idea of making $100,000 a month is almost kind of scary. Like I love the idea and I want to do it and all that, and I'm still kind of nervous about it. And I don't know if it's just a fear of success or whatnot. But
because you could make what you make in 1 month 10. You know,
Yeah,
10 months
it's-
right now. Yeah.
So maybe I need someone like you to crack the whip a little
Well,
bit.
for me, it's just a system. You know, you
Right.
need to find a traffic system where you're running advertisements that come to whatever, and there's probably 30 different angles you can take it. Hey,
Right.
get my free Apple report that led to $6 million in profit for my members last year. Or hey, sign up for a free
Right.
social community for Apple. Or watch this free video series. Or have a free webinar. Or blah, blah, blah. You've got a bunch of different opportunities to get people on that email list.
Right.
And then start the cycle where you hey, some free content. Now, if you're liking what you're getting, pay for it, and or just keep getting the free content and not getting it. Anyway, so all right, you've got a lot of potential. Lately, we are starting to have more and more return visitors to the Money Pillow with follow-up success stories. So I cannot wait, Micah. We'll be sitting right back here in a year, and or even sooner, hopefully. And we're gonna talk about how you hit your first 6-figure month.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Okay,
That's
so
gonna be awesome.
all right, let's wrap this up. Business books. Have you read any 1 to 2 business books in the last year or in your lifetime that have just been game changers?
Yeah, you know what was a real game changer for me was a book called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson.
The Slight Edge?
Yeah, The Slight Edge. And the whole book was about...
Slide or slight?
Slight.
Okay, slight.
And the whole book was about taking small steps every single day towards a larger goal. And basically talked about the idea of results being something that acts a lot like compound interest. And being, of course, a math guy myself, you know, the whole idea of compound interest, if you're watching the video, you know, it goes really slowly at first, and then as soon as it starts to hit a little bit of a curve, it just about goes vertical. And the book talked a lot about how a lot of people start on a project, and after they don't see results for 3 months, 6 months, they give up right when they're 3 feet from gold. And if you push through that barrier right there, and of course I can hear myself out loud thinking that that's where I am right now as well, like thinking about going to 100,000 a month. But you push through that barrier and you start to hit this J curve and you start to see exponential results. But you have to push through that first barrier, and that's where a lot of people give up. And just the idea of, if you want to have something big happen in your life, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not even going to happen in 3 months or 6 months. Like, you got to be looking 1, 2, 3, even 5 years in the future and be taking actions every single day towards those goals.
Dude, I love it. Yeah.
And so that really got me like, okay, I want results now. I want results next week. And it was like, okay, well, maybe that won't happen. Maybe I should start now taking little baby steps every single day towards those goals.
And you hit them, yeah. Dude, I love that. That sounds like a great book. Was it easy read?
Oh, yeah, in a weekend.
I'm going to buy 2 copies of that book. The first person to leave a review and shoot me an email at Sean at the Money Pillow, or Sean Malarkey at gmail.com is my email, and let me know you left a review. I will send you that book. So
you can get it on audio too, Sean.
The Slight Edge.
Yeah.
Okay. Resources, website resources. Give me 3 website resources, not to use for stock trading or anything like that, but to run your business that are invaluable to you.
Oh my gosh. 3 online resources.
Things like Fiverr and 99.
Yeah, you know, I use Fiverr a lot for small things. That's probably one of my main things. I haven't used 99 Designs yet, but we're redoing our homepage, so we'll be using that again, or for the first time in the next month or so.
You have to, yeah. As you guys know, this show is sponsored by 99 Designs, and if you go to 99designs.com/moneypillow, I think it's Moneypillow or the Moneypillow, I can't remember right offhand, but 99designs/moneypillow or the Moneypillow, you get a free power pack upgrade, which is like $100 thing. But I can't stress use that enough. Micah's going to use it to redo his homepage
Yeah.
for AAPLTrader, and the reason why is, like, I don't know about you, but like when I want something redesigned, I don't necessarily know the exact look I want until I see it.
I know we're gonna go to a more flat design, you know, which is
yeah.
what a lot of people are doing right now. Our homepage is not a flat design, and so
Your homepage is like a 19 or
in
a
1840
2010 design, yeah.
right.
But that's the cool thing about that website is you'll get a bunch of different looks, and you can pick one you like and run with it. I love working with a good designer, but they're few and far between. And so when you're working with a designer, usually you're like, I like that, but it's not what I want. Can you do this and that? So 99designs.com/moneypillow. You love 99 Designs, or you're going to be loving it. You love Fiverr right
Fiverr's
now.
awesome.
What kind of things do you get done on Fiverr?
Oh my goodness. So I've recently started a podcast myself. We should be launching here in the next few weeks where I'm interviewing other thought leaders in the investment world. And we use Fiverr. Basically, we have people transcribe the podcast into a written transcribe thing.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
for $5?
$10.
$10 for an hour?
Well, it's $10 for 30 minutes.
Okay.
So, and they basically did it too, like, it'd be like Sean in bold, and then what Sean said, and then Micah in bold, and what Micah said.
So it's solid.
Yeah, it's super solid.
Is it good English?
Yeah, it was a girl in Ohio, college student.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, I know. It was awesome.
Ohio.
So
go
yeah,
Bucks,
$10 for a 30-minute for this person to do it. We've done a bunch of different, logo or icon designs, all sorts of
I just
random.
did an ebook yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I should open my email and see if we have it. I'll show you.
But I'm shocked at what people would do for $5. I mean, it's a huge leverage of my time.
Sometimes you're paying I paid $40 because I wanted it
Right.
done in one day, which is fine. I mean, I would
Sure.
have paid somebody on the staff a lot more than that.
And I've even had people if I needed an article written, there's a few good writers there that I'll
Is it
actually
really?
pay $10 and they'll pump out an article about Apple for me.
Wow, that's incredible. So Fiverr, you are excited about using 99 designs. What else? Give me one more.
Gosh, what's his name? He writes a lot about traffic. Neil Patel, I think his name
Neil
is.
Patel, yeah.
Yeah, he's
Did
good.
you know that's a friend of mine?
Is it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
He's not a friend, but a guy that we talk a lot.
He's cool. I like his style. I like the way he's designed his whole setup. And so I've learned a lot. Just even
Super
going
smart.
through his website and seeing how he catches leads and moves people through and has blogs, and he really. And you know what I love about that is, and I can't say this enough about how we've grown, is education-based marketing.
I don't think he sells anything.
He does.
He doesn't.
He has a $97 thing.
Is it new?
No, it's a traffic and growth product or whatever.
Okay.
Of course.
All right.
So, education-based marketing. Teaching people up front.
He has a bunch of software, or not a bunch, but several
does he?
softwares.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But
God, what's
I
his
read
big
his
one?
blog.
He's got a big one. Anyway, so what's his website? Do you remember?
I
guess we could Google it right now.
No, I just opened the email and clicked the link. I don't even remember what it was called.
I know. Hold
Here
on.
we go. Okay.
I'm just gonna look it up real quick so people listening can
check it out.
Yeah, blog.
The blog.
Yeah, it's Quick Sprout.
Quick Sprout. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quick Sprout's a great blog. Fiverr is a great site. I'm looking forward to using 99 Designs to redo our homepage. So yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want more traffic? Sweet.
We're reading Quick Sprouts things. So anyway, all right. Very cool, Micah. I look forward to kind of tracking your progress and having you back on. And I really appreciate you coming on.
Definitely.
Before I forget, are you active on social anywhere? Are you on Twitter? Are you on LinkedIn? Are you on Facebook?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook. You can look me up, Micah Lamar. That's kind of funny. I'll spend 2 seconds on the story, but there's another Micah Lamar out there, and he lives in the Philippines. And
isn't he a Philippine celebrity?
he's like a rock star, and his brother's a rock star. And I was looking to get on when I first started on Twitter for my company, and I was like, oh, there's another Micah Lamar out there, and he has the Twitter handle Micah Lamar. Like, dang it, Because I own MicahLamar.com, and he owns Micah Lamar, the Twitter handle. And I was like, oh, he beat me to it. And so I actually reached out to him on Facebook, and I was like, hey, Micah, I'm Micah. Like, we should be friends. And so I get his updates. But the funniest thing is every once in a while I get like a whole, whenever he has some big concert or something, I don't know, but I get these whole slew of friends requests from these like teeny bopper Filipino girls, because they all think that I'm like this rock star in the Philippines, which
that's
is
great.
Classic. But
yeah,
I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn.
Awesome.
I have a company Twitter thing.
Yeah, if you've enjoyed this, reach out and let Micah know. I guess always appreciate hearing from you guys, or you can leave a comment over at themoneypillow.com on this article, and I'll make sure Micah sees it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. But dude, it's been fun watching your growth, watching your progress go from frustrated about to take a job. I mean, literally less than a year ago.
Yeah, it was really been, it's really been the last 8 months that have really like, holy cow, this is friggin' awesome.
This is real.
Yeah, this is real, and
happening.
we're going to ramp it up like crazy.
The fact you just told me you have $1,000 customer value, I'm not going to stop harping on you. So anyway, all right, dude. Well, I really appreciate having you on, and
Awesome.
that's all I got. Thanks, brother.
Cool. Thanks, Sean.